And I think we're on live. Yes, we are on live. So, welcome everybody to the 25 Marketing Mastermind. Uh, we have a terrific hangout lined up for everybody here today. And we just want to say if you are new and you are seeing us for the first time, please understand that part of this is to explain that we are actually human beings, that we are not robots, and that we do breathe and eat and drink and do all of that stuffs. Um, we're not trying to put ourselves over as these professionals, but we are real people that work from home, and we want to share with you something interesting. So we have a great star panel on today. We are going to go over the usual suspects to introduce everybody to you. Katie and Pops are in a coffee shop right now, so everybody is making a whole bunch of noise. And I keep telling them to tell everyone to shush, but they don't want to do it because it might be embarrassing and all that. But with that being said, I think we'll go over to Pops. And Pops, just say hello to everybody. How are you doing? How are things going? I see you didn't shave this morning.
I shaved the other day, but it kind of grew back under here. I'm going to have to get rid of that, though. It kind of bothers me. But it's been a great week. We just got off of Mackinac Island up in northern Michigan. Awesome tourist place. It's really a cool place. And then we rushed down here to be able to get online with you people. And we're glad to be here. And glad to see you all.
Awesome. And I'm just, okay, we are actually live here, so I'm just going to pause this quickly just to check. I just want to see that we're actually live.
We are. I put in chat. We are.
We are live. Okay, so with that being said, we'll go over to Miss Katie on stage. Katie, how are things from your perspective? Because I believe you're like adjacent to Pops right now, so how that works.
Yes. First of all, I'm on a chair, not on a stage. And my name is not Jason, it's Katie. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I got a sunburn from Mackinac Island. Does this help if I cup it? Does that help?
No, it's fine. Just talk normally.
Oh, no, I can't do that either.
Oh, yeah, everyone's looking at you.
I have aloe vera. I have my exploding muffin from Tim Hortons, and I'm happy. And I'm here. I'm here, so I'm happy too.
Awesome. All right. So, and of course, we've got our wonderful contributor in our panel, Mr. Jamie Shaw, with the red shirt. How are things going with you, man? You've had you had the day off or something, right?
Yeah, I actually took the day off. Actually, I've been off since Friday about 1:30 and taking a whole weekend, because I still work a job and work my home business. So I took time off from my job. Took a vacation day today. I got the holiday tomorrow, which is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everybody. And then I go back to work on Wednesday. And it's nice to just have some downtime. And I worked on the pool all day. My wife got in the pool and vacuumed the pool, so I didn't have to get in a freeze. That made her do it all. So.
Awesome. Yeah, and of course it's 4th of July, so that's like a special day in America. Like 140, you're celebrating 242 years of independence or something.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I got the number right. So that's pretty awesome. So I hope everybody has a wonderful 4th of July and you got the day off. And so you should not be missing this if you're watching this, because tomorrow is your day off, right? National holiday, as I understand it. We don't have the 4th of July off, People still have to work here. So I guess it only applies.
Wait, you don't have a 4th of July?
We have a 4th of July, but we don't celebrate independence on the 4th of July.
Just checking. Some everybody has a 4th of July. You may not celebrate birthdays in South Africa, but you have a 4th of July.
Yes, that's right. We have something. I think we've got something called Guy Fawkes here on November, when we fireworks that go off, and that's celebrating a very weird day. Have a look on the history. It's very weird and twisted, but we celebrate it anyway. You guys celebrate Guy Fawkes? Okay, I guess no one's going to answer.
No. Don't even know what it
I
is.
don't think so. All righty. Yeah, do some research. It's not the best day in the world, but you know, we celebrate it. It's just a way to let off fireworks. But anyway, so Jamie and I got together early on before Katie and Pops, and we were kind of talking about what we can be talking about today. And the title of this particular hangout is, "Can we really become successful online?" And let's talk about this. And we were talking about the fact that, when you've been doing this business for a while and you kind of get into a groove, there are certain elements of your business that you kind of stop doing. All right. Especially if you've had a little bit of success in the beginning. And when you get started online, it's like there's an expression that says, "A new broom sweeps clean," because you're putting everything into it and you're kind of going full tilt. And when I got started online, there was a strategy that I kind of mastered and I did very, very well. And it was through that strategy that I started to see massive results in my business. But you'll find that as you grow in your business and you start to earn money and things start to accumulate, you kind of relax a little bit because things aren't as desperate as they were when you first got started. Because now you reach, for myself, I reach a level of financial independence when I don't need to rely on a boss anymore or rely on work. But there is something about going back to basics that's very important inside of your business. And the way that I can illustrate this is I used to be involved with trading. So I used to trade in the stock market. And I used to trade lots of stocks. I used to make lots of money. And when you get started, they teach you a very simple rule. And that rule is, believe me, if you want to get into trading, this is number one rule. Any trader will tell you this. The trend is your friend. All right. The trend of the stock is your friend. All right. So if you're trading a stock and the trend is going up, you always want to buy. If you're trading a stock and the trend is going down, you always want to sell. All right. It's that simple. But the problem with trading is there are indicators inside of trading where you learn that there are little strategies you can learn to teach you when to buy and when to sell. And when you get into the nitty-gritty of all those details, it's very easy to forget the term, the trend is your friend. And if you don't believe me, I want you to go online after this hangout, and type in on YouTube, how I lost $1,500 trading. Just go and look that up on YouTube and you'll see what I mean. There's a guy who's trading against the trend and he's doing a funny technique to try and sell, and the stock just plummets and he loses $1,500 in a matter of seconds. And so every time we would get really bad at our trading, or we would not make as much money as we did, our trainer would always say to us, because that person had been trading for years and years and years, they would say, don't forget, the trend is your friend. And you kind of realize that you were trying to trade against the trend in most of the cases. So whenever you trade, you look at the trend, you have a stochastic, you might have a fast stochastic, a slow stochastic, and a Bollinger Band, and you would look at those indicators and make a decision. You don't need to know what that is. All you need to know is that those indicators would line up and you'd make a decision to buy or sell depending on what the trend was doing. And if you are a fancy trader, sometimes you would go against the trend. But the problem is you get so caught up in these different indicators. Like there's something called the Fibonacci sequence. And if you ever get a chance to study it, it's the most fascinating thing in nature around. It's absolutely fascinating, but you get so entrenched in that particular indicator that you lose sight of the basics. And it's the same with marketing, right? You get into marketing and you get taught the number one rule about marketing, and that is to get eyeballs onto a website, get eyeballs onto a capture page. And so you get told to learn a strategy, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Snapchat, whether it be blogging. You learn a strategy and you master that strategy and you really go for it, all right? And you be consistent with it. And I used a strategy for a year and a half, and that sent me over the top to the point where I was making $5,000 a month. I was making incredible money, especially for me. All right, $5,000 for me a month is like an actuary. That's an actuary salary, like a super accountant in South Africa. It's huge amounts of money. And, you know, that strategy is what really got me on the road. And it's something called the SAM method that I teach on a regular basis. And I've taught loads of people the SAM method, and it really does work. People that have applied that method have gotten onto leaderboards. I've taught somebody called Sonia that method. I've called, not somebody, we know Sonia Harris. She's amazing. I taught Sonia that method. I've taught Katie that method. And they've gotten on the leaderboards because of that, because they just were consistent with that strategy. But as you grow in your experience as a marketer, you tend to, because you've actually accumulated a little bit of wealth, or accumulated some money, you tend to forget about the strategy, and now you're concentrating on your emails, or now you're concentrating on making your blog look fancy. Now you want to make your Snapchat account look amazing, or you want to make your Facebook account look good. You want to really get good at doing a Facebook Live, or you want to do a YouTube Live. And you start concentrating in other areas of your marketing, and sometimes the strategy kind of gets lagged behind, and you forget about the basics. And this happens to every single marketer. It happened to me. You know, I've had those moments when I've lulled and I've decided, you know what, I need to go back to what I was doing so that I can get back into the rhythm of things. All right, because it's very easy to get lax. It's very easy to fall back. And so you want to get back into the basics of marketing. It's very, very important. All right, maybe somebody here on the panel could add to that and the experience of online and how they started. And I know Katie's got an amazing story with this. Maybe you want to take it away, Katie.
Well, sorry for the noise in the background, but you just wanted to tell me my experience with Sam. So basically, when Dave taught me this strategy, I ran with it, and I didn't stop until, well, I don't know, until like what he said. It just, I started getting on the leaderboards. I started getting sales. I started to started focusing on other things, and so I kind of went away from it after a while. I did it for, I don't know, for a long time, but I started focusing, like you said, I'm kind of repeating myself, but I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to say this, because what it does is that it actually put me through those steps, because I had to start somewhere. I had to have a strategy to start somewhere, because when you don't have a strategy and you don't stick with it, you're always gonna jump on different strategies. You're always gonna be in that same place, and you're not gonna get leads. You're not gonna, if you keep jumping around, you're not gonna go through that process. Like, there's leads. You have to learn how it's, what it feels like to get your constant leads coming in. You have to feel what it feels like to convert those leads into sales. There's that skill, right? You keep building up on these skills, but you have to go through this process in order to get those skills. So you have to stick with a strategy, and mostly a strategy that works. When someone is teaching you, hey, this is what worked for me, do this for like 90 days, and you just go on it like a bat out of hell. Just do it. I don't care if you don't see anything for like the first 30 days, because you know what? If you quit after 30 days, you're going to have to start all over again. If you think that, okay, this isn't working, so I'm going to try this other strategy because this other person has a story. It worked for them, so it must work for me. So you go try their strategy for 30 days, and they say you have to do it for 90, but you stop after 30 and say, okay, this isn't working, and you jump on somebody else's strategy. So you're always going to keep doing that. So right now, you're listening to this, and you want to learn the SAM strategy. You're going to go on it, and you're going to do it for 90 days. Because we're going to tell you it works. You have to go through that process. right? You don't have to do it for life unless you absolutely love it because, whatever, okay? But just do it for 90 days. So we can promise that something will change. So it definitely changed my life. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Katie. And, you know, before we go any further, I just want to acknowledge Joe McKenzie, who's in the chat right now. Joe has just joined our team. So Joe, welcome aboard. And we're very happy to have you here. And, you know, Joe is one of the sharpest minds I know. He's really, really quick. I know he's going to dive into this head first, and he's going to work. You know, I gotta say that, you know, getting back to what Katie was saying, you know, the interesting thing about when I was telling Katie, and this was before I had the course. This is before I had the course, the SAM method. You know, I got on a call with Katie, and I said, "This is what you need to do. Just follow these steps." And Katie just got off the call and started running with it, and worked it out until she got it. She figured out everything on her own. She got straight into it. She got the camera working. She worked out everything. I think you were using, what were you using at the time? Screencast-O-Matic. And you were sharing your screen, and you were doing these reviews on the products, and you just kept on doing it until you got better and better and better and better at it. And this is exactly the type of thing that Chris Price is doing. And, you know, we know all Chris. He's in real estate, and he's doing really, really well. And he also did this on a regular basis, religiously, all the time. He just kept on doing it. And I think even today, he still does it. Even Pat is somebody who does this as well on a regular basis. You know, it's people that get stuck into it and figure it out on their own, and they keep going. And very often, if you think back to where you were, to where you actually saw a little bit of results, where you got leads, it's at that moment that you were doing something right. And then what happens is we kind of fool ourselves into thinking that there must be something out there that's going to get us results quicker. And that isn't the case. You just got to keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. You know, one of the things that happened to me when I started doing this method is that because I kept on doing 4 to 8 videos a day, there were a couple of videos that went absolutely viral because the search term for it was crazy. And I've got a video out there that's got over 200,000 views. 200,000 views. And that's when things started really picking up. Why? Not because I chose a couple and just went with it, but because I just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on until I got a result. Now, I don't know if Jamie wants to talk a little bit about, or Pops, about doing something, getting back to basics and forgetting the tiny bit of successes they had, and then doing that and carrying on with what they were doing so they can get a result. I don't know if you guys want to talk a bit about that.
Yeah, sure. I'll go next. I've kind of done that here lately, going back to the basics, because, you know, for the longest time I was scared to do video, and then I got, you know, kicked around a little bit by some mentors and some leaders to start doing video. So I started doing video, and then I got in, you know, my sponsor was doing a Facebook challenge, which we don't call them challenges, you know, just get out there and do it. Don't tell everybody it's a challenge, just do it. But she did it for 30 days, and I followed in her footsteps and did it, you know, and I was in momentum. I was having people coming to me, talking to me and everything, and I got away from it. And, you know, like the SAM method, I've used the ranking strategies and stuff in it to rank videos on the first page of YouTube, and I've used it on my blog to rank blog posts on the first page of Google. And I've got away from them strategies, and, you know, my lead flow is going down. So like Dave, you know, I'm going back to basics, going back to doing what I know works to get back in to where I need to be. You know, the SAM method works. I know it works. I've used portions of it. If I do product reviews with it, it's going to work even better. You know, doing my Facebook lives and uploading my YouTube videos and taking my lives and upload them to YouTube. You know, there's tons of videos out there. Then if I'm taking my lives and my YouTube videos and putting them all over YouTube. Plus, I started a Vimeo account too, so I can upload stuff to Vimeo as well and get more eyes on it. And, you know, we all struggle with that point where we get, you know, Dave's kind of like I am. He's doing so much. We're on 1 or 2, 3 hangouts in a workshop a week. You know, we get busy and we lose track of time. You know, we lose track of momentum, and we got to go back to basics to get back in that momentum, because our time's so critical now, because we're, you know, Dave's like I am. I'm on a hangout, I'm on 3 hangouts. Well, I'm on 4 hangouts a week, and then I'm on a workshop every week too. You know, Dave's on 2 or 3 a week, and Katie's on 2 or 3 a week, you know, workshop as well. And Pops is the same way. So we get busy and we get out of action sometimes. And this is how we get back into action, by going back to the basics and relearning what we already know, but we need to relearn it again.
Yeah, I can attest to going back to the basics, and what Katie said too. I was starting the SAM method, and Dave was giving me some instructions. And first of all, because of the SAM method, I lost my fear of being on the video. I was like cold, stone, afraid of doing videos. Don't ask me why, especially at my age, and I can talk in front of anybody at any time, but turning on that camera just really blew me away. And I got over that fear because of the SAM method. That's just number one. And then Dave taught me how to use keywords in my titles. And I did one where I got on the first page immediately. And then I did a little bit of an adjustment that I saw that Dave had done before. And that ranked me at number 2 on that page. It was just phenomenal. And I was an nobody out there at that point. So it wasn't my name or anything else that put me there. It was strictly what Dave was teaching me. And then to expand on what Katie was saying, I had to become a principal caregiver along with my sister for my dad, who became sick and then died. And well, since he died, I have then followed my dream, and that is to become a full-time RVer. So I concentrated on that. Now that I am doing that, I have to start over because I stopped, take care of my dad, and then get ready to do what I'm doing, follow my dream. And so I have to start all over again from the very beginning, square one. So I never made the 90 days, but I will now. That's to attest to the results that I got from the SAM method.
You know, and I got to say, I do remember when Pops was doing that video, because I remember him saying, "Holy crap!" and he got his video ranked right at the top of the actual search SAM, when it actually ranked there right on top. And it absolutely does work. But here, you know, talking about people doing well, you know, we've got our own Shamila, who's on the chat right now. And Shamila has got her own strategy, which she actually went about her business in the way of saying, you know what, I've got to learn for an entire year. I've decided that I'm going to learn everything for a whole year. I get all the knowledge I need to go. And then she started getting on our workshops every week. And she decided that she was going to do Facebook Lives. And she started doing them on a regular basis. And I mean on a regular basis. And that's when she started to get noticed. She started to get views to her videos. And she started engaging in conversation with people, where people would want to know what she's doing for a living, and she's able to provide them with a solution. And that's a strategy she has grabbed onto and worked, and it's working for her. And that's just something of somebody who, and making 3 sales in 1 week is incredible. That is incredible. I mean, that's faster than a lot of people I know. And if you saw Shamila, she is a very, very quiet person. She's not she's not the loudest person on the planet. You know, she's not going to sit there and demand attention for herself. Very, very withdrawn individual, but making a huge impact online because she's taken a strategy and she has implemented it. Another person who I can edify here, and that is Sonia Harris. Now, if you don't know who Sonia Harris is, she lives in the UK. And a few years ago, she was working with somebody, and they saw me on the leaderboard. She contacted, or that the other person she was working with contacted me, and they wanted to know how I was getting on the leaderboard. And I told them about the SAM method, and I gave them instructions, and I said, this is what you need to do. So Sonia, being the shy person that she is, decided that she was going to make these videos, but she wasn't going to put herself on camera. And I think after a week or two, she got a hold of me and she said, this isn't working. This isn't working. I'm doing the videos, but nothing's actually working. And I said to Sonia, Sonia, you need to get on camera and you need to get over yourself. You need to be able to put yourself on camera so people can see who you are. If you're hiding behind something, people aren't going to be trusting you. And now you see Sonia everywhere because she's overcome that fear. And it wasn't easy. And I know Sonia. When I spoke to Sonia for the very first time, she didn't even, when we were on Skype, she didn't put her camera on. She would just put a picture there. And it took a while for her to get over that fear. But then soon after she got over that little stumbling block through the SAM method, she started to gain confidence. And then her leads started to pick up. So much so that she outperformed everyone around her. Her leads increased by 4,000%. Why? Because she stuck with that method and she just kept on building up this huge amount of videos that were going out, and she built leads and leads and leads in her business. It absolutely does work. The whole point here is to grab a strategy and to work it and to keep on doing it and not to stop until you get results. That's what it boils down to. You know, we've got so many examples of people in our workshop that have actually outperformed themselves. We have an 80% success rate inside this workshop. And I'm sure maybe one of the people on the panel would like to talk about somebody else who's shined inside of this workshop.
I just want to give a shout out to Minnie. She actually has been talking to a prospect via text message. So she got a text message back. So now they're gonna share like a Skype information, and she's gonna see what's up and see what that's all about. So that's exciting. I mean, that just happened now. I'm telling you, that just happened now.
Yeah, and this is through building connections online and just working through. I mean, that is one way of also getting connections online. We've got other people on our workshop like Joe Whistler. Now, if you haven't met Joe, right? He was being interviewed by Jamie. Sorry, I forgot your name for a second. Joe was being interviewed by Jamie. He was on our Hangout a while back as well. And Joe stutters. Joe has a stuttering problem. And I don't say this to make fun of him. I say this because I want you to understand that even when you have a speech impediment and you battle to speak, you can still get results. And Joe is making sales. Joe is getting commissions. Why? He decided he was going to do Twitter. He was going to look at a Twitter strategy and also making videos. And he started to make sales, but he was consistent. He just kept on and kept on and kept on, and he started to get results. And if you just looked at Joe and you think, well, gee, you know, is this guy actually going to perform? And I've said this to him, you know, I've said, you know, at the back of my mind, I'm going, gee, is Joe actually going to get results? But he just stuck with it. He believed in himself and he made it work. And that's why you got to understand that no matter how impeded you might think you are, whether you think you're too slow, whether you think you're not smart enough, whether you think you're not technologically advanced, whether you think that, you know, you got a spelling problem, you're dyslexic or you're dyslexic and you believe in a dog. The point I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter. You just need to have that extra bit of willpower. You got to be the person that's going to be there and everybody else falls by the wayside. When I first started, there were lots of people who started with me. and were there alongside me for 6, 8 months, a year. I just kept on going. And 4 years later, I'm over here. And now when they see me, they look at me and say, are you still doing that business? And I say, absolutely yes, because I just never gave up. And I'm sure we can think of other people inside of a workshop that have got a result and are producing. I'm going to give it to somebody else in the panel. I don't want to do all the talking.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have gotten results in our workshop, and it's because of the workshop. Joe's gotten sales. Maria's gotten sales. I think Pastor Jackie finally got her first lead, and we were celebrating her first lead. There's others in the workshop that have got their first lead, and that's just a step into the direction of success to get your first lead, because many people come online that don't even generate one lead. So getting your first lead or your first sale, is a big accomplishment in the online marketing world. And there's other people. Maria, I know she makes contacts with people every day, and she's had sales and she's had leads come in, and we put her in charge of the workshop one night, and boy, did she blossom that night when we put her in charge of that workshop. She was like a little flower all closed up, and she just went wham, and she just delivered it all night long, and I was floored at how well she did. I thought she would be scared, and she did a phenomenal job, because she comes to the workshop every week, and she teaches and she learns and she teaches what she learns, and she's just doing awesome. Sonia's got leads and sales from being in the workshop. Portia, Takia, they've all got leads and sales just by being in the workshop, hanging out with us and stuff like that. So, what's Katie say? We have an 80% success rate in our workshop, and we're defining success. We're defining success by getting your first lead, getting your first blog post up. Every little success is something you should celebrate, because what is it? 95% of the marketers fail because they don't do anything. They look at it from a paycheck mentality. They come in, and at the end of 2 weeks, they haven't got a paycheck yet, and they're like, this ain't working, so I'm going to quit, And that's the mentality they come in with. You got to get rid of that mentality, because working for yourself, after 2 weeks, you might not see a paycheck. After 2 months, you might not see a paycheck. It depends on how much you're going to grow and how much you're going to learn. And if you're going to follow Dave's 5 steps, find a mentor that can mentor you, find a community, and surround yourself with people that have the same ideas and goals that you have, and a community that supports you. Invest in yourself, invest in your business, and let systems work for you.
I've seen people who have, they have all the desire and they really want to get something going, and they don't get the results because they don't know what to do and they're confused. They may not have someone there to help them along, a mentor. And a lot of that has happened with the people that have joined us in our workshop, and have also people who have taken the SAM method, and they finally learned the strategy, or they got us and others to lead them along and give them some ideas of what to do and how to market themselves, and then they start getting results. Prior to that, they want to quit, but they really want to keep going. And once they figure out what they need to do with the help of us and a method that really works, then they can start getting results. And that's what it takes. They need a mentor of some kind, or mentors, or a group of mentors like we have in our workshop, and a method that will work. Because it's hard to find your own way of doing things sometimes. There's so many ways to market out there, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or all the other email marketing. Well, you need to pick one specific and master it. And that's what we teach in the workshop, is how to find the way you do your own way of marketing effectively. And well, I like the YouTube because it gets you out there with videos. You can now do videos, of course, on Facebook also. But the video is king on getting yourself out there and getting your brand and getting known out on the marketplace. And we have all that in our group, and that's why we have the success that we have with the people that we work with and that work with us.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that everybody in the workshop that really works their business to the point where they are producing in the sense that they are taking what they learned and implement it. Those are the ones that get results. Those are the ones that get leads. And one of my mentors that I listen to, and his name is Pat, said something very, very profound the other day. He was saying, you can't make it about the money. And I know we've all heard that before. I know that we've all heard of the fact that you can't make it about the money. And he was saying that you've got to make it about leads. You've got to make it about getting people to your capture page. Ultimately, it's really about that. Yes, it is about the people, and yes, it is about helping people. But at the end of the day, if you're working towards a strategy, you've got to get eyeballs to a capture page so you can grab a lead. And this goes into another section which goes beyond the scope of what we're talking about tonight. But it really is about building your list, because we've heard the expression, the money is in the list. When you start building a list of emails, that's when you really start to build a relationship with your customer base. There are relationships that I have built from 4 years ago that are still following me. They still message me and they still connect with me, even though they haven't bought anything from me. But they're still following me and they're still looking at what I have to do because I'm cultivating relationships from that list. And it's all due to the fact that I have a strategy that I use and I consistently did every single day. Right. And, you can't underestimate the value of a strategy. When I first got started, when I typed in on YouTube, I said, how to make money online. And I bumped into Ryan Maynard. You might know him. He's also a marketer online. And Ryan connected with me. I couldn't believe he connected with me. And he gave me a set of instructions. He said, Dave, he actually, we started almost the same time. He just was in it a few more months than I was, the online game. And he knew about video marketing. And he told me to follow a course. He told me to follow a strategy. And it was video marketing. And I tried to do what he did. And I failed. I failed for about 2-3 months. I couldn't do it. I really struggled. I thought I was doing exactly what he told me to do. I made some videos, and some of you guys watching have seen my really ugly, pathetic videos that I made online that were ridiculous. I laugh at them now. I can't believe how bad they were. But I took action and I tried to make a video. And through that, I decided I was going to try another strategy. And the other strategy I wanted to do was Craigslist, because I had heard that there was a strategy you could do on Craigslist. And it took me about a month to try and get all past the red tape of doing Craigslist. And I finally got a little bit of a result where I made my first commission. But then they shut me down and I couldn't do Craigslist anymore. So guess what? I had to come back to video. I had to come back to the original strategy that I was doing. And that was my journey for about 6 months, coming back to a strategy which I failed in from the beginning. And you might find that you might have to go through this learning process. But I knew through doing Craigslist and doing a strategy that if I just followed somebody who was successful, that I could get a result. So after I couldn't get on Craigslist anymore, I decided to follow somebody who was on a leaderboard inside of the little organization that I was in back then with Online Profits for Newbies. And a lot of you might know what that is. And I found the guy called Kevin. And Kevin had a tiny little 10-minute course on video. And Kevin is a successful marketer, right? And I followed his little course, which he took down again, right? But he took down because you can't find it anymore. But I followed that little strategy. And I decided that I was going to do exactly what Kevin was going to do. I thought all of this was from Ryan saying, follow a strategy that worked. So I decided to do that little strategy. And it's poles apart from what I do now. But I did that basic little strategy. And I started to see opt-ins. And I started to see more opt-ins. And then I started to see sales. I started to sell products. And that was because I had come to the conclusion in my mind that if I follow a strategy that somebody else is using that actually works, I will get results if I just keep on working at it. Just like with Sonia, right? So Sonia tried to do my method and failed. And then when she came back to me and said, why am I not succeeding? I gave her a little bit of, I said, you need to get on camera. And then after I corrected her on that correction course, that's when she started seeing results. And she just kept on at it. She kept on at it and she soared. And she was on the leaderboards. That's when people started to take notes of Sonia. And Sonia's got her own organization. She's doing incredibly well. So I'm telling you right now that there is no secret sauce. There is no secret pill. It really just comes down to hard work that you have to do and following a set of instructions that somebody else has done already. So I have a strategy called the SAM method that really does work, but there are plenty of other strategies that work just the same. The question is, are you going to do it? Are you going to climb over the ladder of technology and overcome hurdles when you don't understand what it means to upload a video? Are you going to go online and type in how to upload a video? Are you going to go online and type in how do you Screencast-O-Matic? How do I capture video? Are you going to do those bits of hard work? Because I never told Katie any of that stuff. I never showed Sonia any of those tiny bits. They worked it out all by themselves. And here's the other thing I want to say. The people that I've seen soar in this industry that I've taught hardly ever came back to me to say, oh, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? And ask me 100 different questions. I want to work with people that want to help themselves. And I don't say that to be cruel. I say that because I understand that there's a reason why I'm here. It's funny, when I bugged Ryan, I just wanted to know that he was connecting with me. I just wanted to know, even though he wasn't teach me these amazing strategies, he kept on encouraging me and saying, Dave, I know you can do this. And this is really what the workshop is about. It's about connecting. It's about understanding that all of us have gone through the same difficulties. All of us have. And the difference is whether you're going to stick around or not. And I'm not going to tell you you're going to make, like we have My Lead System Pro here. And I'm not going to tell you that, you know what, if you're going to join now, that you're going to make your money back within the first month, because I don't want to say that. I'm going to be dead honest with you. When I started working my business, I never saw one commission until 9 months later. But I live in South Africa. I live in a third world country. I had huge obstacles in my way. Craigslist was almost impossible for me to do. I cannot buy Bing ads. I cannot use Bing. If you know how to use Bing, and if you live in the States, and if you follow the SAM method using Bing, you can outperform anyone. But I don't have that. So I had to work out the free methods. And that's really what it comes down to. So take it from me when I say it's hard work. And it may take you a month, it may take you 2 months, it could take you a year, it could take you 2 years. But I know this, 4 years ago, if you had told me that 4 years ahead I would be financially independent, I don't think I would have believed you. I don't think I would have believed you. But I am so grateful for the 4 years that I've had to work at my business, because it's changed me. It's helped me to grow. It has stretched me. It has taken me to places where I never thought possible. I have made $3,000 in a second because I have followed strategies like this. You know, all of us were in Empower Network. It was a company that did really well, and I'm so thankful for that company because it gave me the training tools that I needed. But now, if I had started off with My Lead System Pro, like so many of the leaders inside of Empower Network, because 90% of those leaders started out inside of My Lead System Pro, because My Lead System Pro teaches you to build a sustainable business. And I just also wanted to give a shout out to DeMarcus Digit D, who also signed up. He's also joined our team, and he's a gamer. He loves gaming. It's one of his passions. And he's using My Lead System Pro to elevate his gaming so he can reach more people. That's why he's using the system. So I don't know if you guys want to add to that. I've spoken for a bit. Maybe somebody else can take something.
I'm sorry if it's loud again, but one of the things I wanted to say is that the whole 97% or 97% fail. It's really funny because when you get into this industry, you're already in that bracket automatically, whether you think so or not. You're 97 fail, and you're going to stay there if you believe it. You know what I mean? So the only way to get in the top 3% is to already write it off in your mind that this is going to be something that you are going to write off as tax deductible for the most part. You know, get with the tax person and figure out what they can do for you. And this is an investment. Okay, this isn't a lottery ticket. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is skills that you have to learn over time, because when you get into any job, okay, I've had 31 jobs in 17 years. Believe me, I know. When you get into a job, they're going to train you on how to do the job, and they're going to pay you for it. So you can't just get into a business and think that you're just going to get paid for doing nothing. That's not going to work that way. You actually have to put in the work. And that's how you get paid. You help other people do that as well, and you're going to get paid more. So I just wanted to say that.
Jamie?
I wasn't paying attention. What was the question? I didn't pay attention. I wasn't paying attention. Actually, my wife was talking to me, so I missed the question. What it was. So.
That's right. We weren't asking a question. We just wanted you to know if you want to add to the conversation. Sorry, I've just spoken for so long. I thought somebody else could take a turn.
I would say, go ahead.
No, we were just talking about the fact that this isn't a walk in the park. It's actually work. You know, this isn't a. You don't become successful because of. I mean, in one sense, we learn successful habits because we hang around successful people.
Right.
That's absolutely true. But you don't become successful because, like, I know somebody. You become successful because you acquire the habits of other people. Chris Pius. That guy was, man, Chris and I started at exactly the same time. We started out right there, right in the beginning, at exactly the same time. And, Chris's journey may have been a bit slower than mine. But now look at him. He's killing it. He's got his own, the guy is in real estate. He's teaching people to flip houses. The guy is crushing it. He is making a living. He is in his element, and as far as I'm concerned, he is far more successful than I am. He is doing amazing work. It's taken him a while to get there, but it's because he just never gave up. And how many times, Katie, have we had conversations with Chris about the fact that he's like, oh man, I don't know what's going on, and and he gets all upset because this is working out and that is working out. And that's what I love about Chris. He is just so honest about the way that he feels. And the truth is that if we all were like that, we would be the same way. all of us would quit every single day. All of us would quit. You know, like 10 days we'd be working, then we're like, you know, forget about this. And Chris is just so honest about the way he feels, but he never, ever gives up. And if you've heard Chris's story, if you've heard his story about how he has overcome things, which, believe me, I'm sure that everybody in this room, I don't think you'd be able to survive what he has gone through. He just never, ever quits. You know, I never gave him a handout. I never did anything to Chris that he didn't do himself. Everything he has accomplished is because of who he is, and he never, ever gave up. And that, you can't take that away from anybody. You can't. You know, I've spoken about this as well. There was a guy that I helped in the South. I can't remember this guy's name. Started with a K, I think. And I helped this person. I took him by the hand. I logged into his computer. I set up everything for him. I even recorded videos. I even eventually got one up and running. And he just wasn't going anywhere. And then I just never spoke to him for a while. And then when I contacted him again, he says, "Oh yeah, Dave, I'm getting into this business again. How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing great." He said, "Can you help me out?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Can you help me with video again?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? It's been almost 2 years and you want me to help you with video again?" We had a huge fight. But the truth is that me helping him and taking him by the hand wasn't getting him anywhere. That's why I say, if you really want to perform, you do it yourself. You know, you don't do it by getting spoon-fed. That's not the way it works. You make it in this world because you put in the hard work. That's what it comes down to. Sorry, I've ranted on again, and I've gone sidetracked down a mountain path into a cliff. Sorry, Jamie.
Oh, that's all right, Dave. I love listening to you, so that's why it never bothers me when you go on these rants, because you just tell it like it is, and your truth about Chris. And what's funny about Chris, and he'll tell you this himself, he fires himself at least once a week, and then he rehires himself and goes back and does the work. You know, something little will trigger him, and he gets mad, gets upset, and then he fires himself. So, but being the CEO of your own company, you have that advantage. You can fire yourself, and then you can rehire yourself in the same day. So, but I wanted to add, we talked about getting people, getting leads and stuff. The system we use teaches 3 core activities. And those 3 core activities you should be doing. You should be doing these every day. You should be building an audience, engaging in that audience, and selling to that audience. And they teach it in that system, the system that we use every day. And it's totally true. If you're not building an audience, then you can't engage them and you can't sell to them. So the main thing is to be out there talking to people, building up your audience. When you start engaging with people and talking to people, and I was scared of this myself. So, and I've been out there in the market communicating with people, meeting new people, and build my audience. I'm not selling them anything. I'm just communicating with them and building my audience. When you start building your audience and making new friends and stuff, they become your warm market. So then you can engage your audience through email marketing, through your videos, through your content. Then when they get on your list or become comfortable with you, then you can sell to them. And I really don't like the word sell to them. I like pointing them to something that they need, that solves their problem. And yes, it is selling. In the end of the day, that's our main goal, is to sell something to somebody. But people aren't going to buy something from somebody that they don't like or trust. They're going to buy from somebody that they have gotten to know, that's taken the time to build a relationship with them. And then you're going to be able to point something in their face, or point to something that's going to solve their problem, because you're going to know what their problem was if you build a relationship with them. And then they're going to buy it from you because they know you, they like you, and trust you. Sorry, Dave, I was starting to go on a rant there for a minute.
More than welcome. You're more than welcome. Pops, you want to say something, or?
Yeah, it's just that's. I got to agree with everything that you guys have said. I know I'm stumbling because you pretty much have said it all. But it's a matter of getting out there and learning something and teaching it and putting value out. Eventually, you make sales, but you got to give away, some of the strategies. You got to have to just when you learn something, you share it with people, and they're going to like what they see most of the time, and they're going to start following you when you're giving them good advice and good value, and then they'll buy a product so that they can learn how to do the same thing because the same things that you learn and teach. They're going to realize that it's something that's very good and very valuable, and it's going to help them solve their problem, which is to either fire their boss or make extra income or find a certain freedom that they can do what they want and follow their dream. And you pick whatever. And that's what it's all about. You learn, do, and teach. Learn, do, and teach. Learn, do, and teach. And over and over and over again. It's kind of repetitive, but as you learn more things, it isn't repetitive. The only repetitive thing is just teaching and putting value out there. It's a hell of a lot better than working for somebody else, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. And before we close off this session, I just wanted to end off with this. I want to say this right. So we have a workshop that runs every Saturday, and we actually have a new time slot on Saturday. It's actually 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. And we're doing it because we want to incorporate people from the UK as well as America. And we're trying different times to see what works. So it might change from time to time. But if you want to get on that workshop, what you have to do is you have to go ahead and click on that link below this video, right? Get signed up, get started off, and then get back with us, right? Then what you have to do is we have to get you into a group called the 24-Hour Marketing Mastermind Group. Once you're in that group, you have to make a video. And if you don't know what to do, the moment you get in that group, right at the top of that group, right at the top of the group, there is a set of instructions. And you have to make a video. And in that video, you've got to tell us a bit about yourself. You've got to tell us your strengths and your weaknesses and why you want to join the workshop. There is a very, very specific reason why we want people to do this. Because we want action takers. Every single person has to make a video, including me. I made my own video. Katie's made her own video. Jamie's made her own video. Pop's made his own video when we first got started. Every single person has to make their own video. Once you've made that video, we will take a look at it, and then we will add you to something called the Workshop Warrior Group, which has a 24-hour chat which you can engage with and ask people questions and get your feedback. We don't allow negativity at all. There's no religion or politics inside of that group. Nothing divisive. It's there to encourage. All right, that's why we have the group. And then we all meet together on a Saturday and we help each other out. And that's just the beauty about this particular group, is that if you have a business or if you have something you want to get into, because there are so many faces and so many experiences, we can all contribute and help you in your business. All right. So if you've got a business and you, for instance, are if you're a flight attendant or if you're into travel, we have somebody in the group that actually deals with travel. That's right. We actually do have somebody that deals with travel inside of the group. All right. If you are studying merchandise, we actually have people inside the group that do that. And everybody brings something to the table. That's the amazing thing about the group. So you're not just confined to one person. That's the other thing the group does. It takes the load off you. So you don't have to deal with one person all the time. We help each other out when we can. And, I help Jamie out, and Jamie helps me out. We're not even connected inside of our business. It's not like we're making money off each other. It's because we're in this community and we're helping each other. You know, I'm not connected to Pops at all. The only person I'm really connected to here is Katie. But there are so many people inside of our group that we help each other out, and we're not connected in any way inside of our business. We developed a culture of encouragement. So if you want to be a part of that, those are the instructions you need to follow, no exceptions. And then if you quit or you can't make it, you can't carry on, you get taken out of the group. It only makes sense, all right? Because you're not going to be staying in that group if you're not going to be contributing to your own business. And those are the rules. It's as simple as that. No hard feelings. We want to build a culture of community, a culture of encouragement, and we work together towards one thing. So that's what we have every single Saturday. If you want to be a part of that, it's an amazing group to be a part of. And this is how we get 80% success rate inside the workshop. And we also have certificates, which is a great thing. So the moment you get inside of that group, because you've taken action, you've made a video, you've put yourself out there, you get a certificate and you're part of this group. And then we have something called Member of the Month, where we elevate you and talk about you because you've achieved something great. And we've had quite a few of those, which is great. And I know that Joe Whistler, who was Member of the Month once, and I think who else we've had. Am I forgetting somebody? Who else?
We had Kirk.
We had Kirk. Kirk, now here's an amazing story, right? Kirk is brand new, right? Brand new in the industry. He's a farmer. And he was taught by Sonia, who I taught. And he got a hold of Sonia, and Sonia gave him a strategy. Now, Kirk's had no experience. He gets online. He makes his first sale within his first month. I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, I'm not saying that's going to be the case for every single one of you, but he just had a strategy that he followed because he got it and he was part of this group. So that's another guy. He made Member of the Month, which was incredible. And we do have another Member of the Month, which we'll be announcing fairly soon.
I just kind of wanted to add with Kirk, he didn't know that person either. That person was not connected with him at all in the past, total stranger.
Yeah, it was amazing. And you know, it's just a wonderful testament to the culture that we have here. We want to build a culture of encouragement. And we are absolutely serious about no negativity whatsoever. In fact, if anybody does engage in negative talk, we ignore it. All right, we don't want it. And if you carry on with it, we will talk to you or you get out of the group. It's just that simple. We're not going to have any negative talk or anybody talking badly of anybody in that group. It doesn't matter. We want to encourage people. That's the whole idea behind it. All right, so and with that being said, we have to end this. I don't know, Katie, you want to have the last word here and end us off, please?
Word.
You did not just say word. Did you just say word?
Word.
Word. Okay, cool. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And we've actually gone overtime, which is kind of unusual. We don't like to go overtime. We like to keep it to an hour. We want to respect your time. And we hope that everybody has a super blessed day tomorrow, especially for those of you celebrating the 4th of July. Have a wonderful day with your family and friends. And we will see you same time next week. And if you're on the workshop, we will see you Saturday. Cheers.